Hey everyone, let's dive right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're taking a deep, fascinating look at a topic that has absolutely taken over the internet this past decade. We are talking about manifestation. But listen, instead of getting lost in all the typical hype and wishful thinking, we're going to demystify it today. We're actually going to bridge hard neuroscience with ancient wisdom to figure out exactly why this works so well for some people and why it completely flops for others. Let's get started. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the manifestation phenomenon, move into the brain's hidden algorithm, explore the ancient roots of desire, discuss aligning your true nature, and finally look at what it means to go beyond wishful thinking.
Section 1. The manifestation phenomenon.
The modern manifestation boom really caught fire back in 2006. That was with the publication of a book called The Secret. And within just months, we're talking millions of copies sold globally. Fast forward to today, and it is a massive, inescapable viral trend across pretty much every social media platform you can think of. But beneath all the catchy hashtags, what are we actually talking about here? Well, fundamentally, manifestation is the mental and spiritual process of intentionally aligning your thoughts, emotions, and feelings to attract specific dreams and desires into your reality. The absolute most crucial point here is that we have to strip away the idea that this is just some kind of magic trick. It's really about the deliberate alignment of your internal state. When you perfectly align what you think, what you feel, and what you emote, you actively begin to better yourself and, by extension, the environment around you.
Moving on to Section 2, the brain's hidden algorithm.
Okay, this is where the hard science comes in. When you picture something repeatedly in your mind and you attach intense, real emotion to it, you are actively creating a brand new neural pathway. That's the science of neuroplasticity at work. And because our brains actually struggle to distinguish between vivid imagination and physical reality, this repetition gives your brain absolute clarity on what it needs to prioritize. Basically, the more you visualize and generate those emotions, the stronger that physical neural connection becomes. And this prioritization, it happens in a very specific place in your head called the reticular activating system, or RAS. It acts like a bouncer, a vital gatekeeper between your conscious and subconscious mind. Now get this. Here's a wild fact from our research. Your conscious mind actually actively ignores about 99% of the sensory information you receive every second. The RAS is the filter that decides what tiny 1% fraction of information is actually important enough to bring to your conscious awareness.
Think about a social media algorithm for a second. It constantly tracks your likes, your searches, your clicks, right? And then it floods your feed with targeted ads. Well, your brain's RAS works the exact same way. It logs what you click on mentally, meaning your repeated thoughts and visualizations, and then it scans your reality to feed you actual real-world opportunities that relate to that specific desire.
We've all experienced this, right? It's that classic car phenomenon. Say you finally decide you want to buy a very specific, let's say, red SUV. You research it, you think about it all day, you visualize driving it. Suddenly, you're out on the highway and boom, you see that exact red SUV everywhere. Now, those cars didn't just magically appear out of thin air, they were always there. But before, your RAS was just ignoring them. Now, because you trained your brain to prioritize that car, your RAS filters out everything else and highlights it for you. You literally programmed your brain's algorithm.
Let's look at Section 3, Ancient Roots of Desire.
Consider this incredibly powerful wisdom from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It says, "You are what your deep, driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny." It is honestly mind-blowing how perfectly this ancient philosophy mirrors the modern neuroscience of attraction we literally just talked about.
So, this ancient chain reaction starts with a deep, driving desire, what they called prarik icha. That intense desire creates this unmanifested seed within you, known as vasana. And this seed just sits there, waiting for the right environment. When it finds it, it takes root and drives your actions, your karma. And those actions ultimately forge your destiny, or bhagya. But it all traces all the way back to that one initial deep-rooted desire.
Section 4, aligning your true nature.
Okay, so here's the big question. If the science is real and the ancient wisdom backs it up, why does manifestation fail for so many people? Well, it fails when you ask for things that directly contradict your inherent, true nature. According to these ancient texts, human beings are inherently meant for a state of pure bliss, which is called paramanand. But we forget this. We get so distracted by endless superficial desires in the outside world, and we completely lose touch with who we actually are at our core.
Think about it like this.
Imagine you're naturally a deep introvert who finds genuine peace in solitude, but you get lured by the idea of fame and try to manifest becoming a highly public politician. The result? It's completely misaligned. It causes immense stress and ultimately fails because you were fighting your own inherent nature. But if that same introvert desires to be, say, a researcher or a writer, that aligns perfectly. It brings joy and it succeeds. The takeaway here is that you simply cannot manifest a reality that goes to war with your own DNA.
And finally, Section 5, Beyond Wishful Thinking.
Let's clear the air on something right now. Manifestation is absolutely not sitting alone in a dark room, squeezing your eyes shut, and just wishing really, really hard to become a billionaire businessman. Come on, if simply wishing worked without taking any action, we'd all be billionaires by now. It is incredibly difficult to truly align all your energy with a single desire. It requires action, it requires doing the work, and most importantly, it requires knowing yourself.
So how do we make this a practical daily reality? First, you have to cultivate deep self-awareness, often through meditation. It helps you ask yourself the hard questions and honestly observe your own behavior. You need daily visualization to program that RAS we talked about. You need positive affirmations and, this is crucial, positive self-talk, because the exact way you speak to yourself generates the emotions that fuel this whole engine. And always, always be observing the world, trying new things, and learning about what truly makes you tick. I really want to leave you with a question to chew on today. Take a hard look at the desires you're currently trying to bring into your life. Are the seeds of desire that you're watering truly yours? Are they actually aligned with your inherent nature? Or are you fighting who you are really meant to be? Discover your true self first, intentionally program your brain's algorithm, and just watch how the world opens up for you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.